Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. So very excited for this week's reading vlog because it is going to be the last week of September and the first couple of days of October, and I definitely want to get into the spooky Halloween spirit this week. I definitely want to decorate my room for fall and Halloween this week. I definitely need to clean first because it's a mess in here. So I need to do that first, but then I want to decorate and get my room feeling very cozy and very autumnal because it's kind of a crime that I haven't done it yet. But I also feel like I've started to do this tradition where like the first vlog that I have for the Trick or Treat-a-thon, I decorate for fall and Halloween. So we're gonna keep that going this year. I'm going to decorate for fall hopefully this week. And yeah, the Trick or Treat-a-thon is also starting. It's going to be starting October 1st. It's a month-long readathon. I'll have the announcement link below if you want to check it out. It's very, very low-key, very relaxed. The prompts are very open for your own interpretation, so it's very easy to make whatever you want to read work for it, but very excited about that. That's going to be starting this weekend. The first 2 days are this weekend. Don't know how much reading I'm going to be getting done this weekend, but I'm going to try. But yeah, I'm just excited for this time of year and for Halloween to really be starting to kick off. So I think I'm going to start on maybe some more spooky autumnal reads this week. I do have a hold on the Hex by Erin Sterling right now through Libby. I have the audiobook, so I definitely want to start that this week. The audiobook for the Hex though is only like 7 hours, so I should be able to start and finish it at some point this week. I'm very excited. I've heard really good things about this. It's like a witchy rom-com where the girl casts this hex on her ex, as you would perhaps assume. But I think that the curse she places on her ex is causing some problems within her town, so her and her ex have to work together to fix that, and it just sounds really fun, so I'm excited to listen to that. I also have a hold on the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which is quite a title that I just had to look up because I couldn't remember. But I think my hold on that is going to be coming in soon, but I'm probably not going to start that until I finish the Hex. Just because I don't want to read two like witchy rom-coms at the same time. I feel like my brain would get confused with that. But I'm hoping that maybe I can start that this week as well. And we'll be starting the kind of Halloween spooky reads as early as possible because there's a lot that I always want to read and I feel like just 1 month is not long enough. So maybe starting them like a week earlier, I can get through all the things I want to read. But because I'm not going to be starting that, I do need to pick like a physical book or an ebook or something to read before that. And I have no idea what I'm in the mood to read next. I feel like I'm starting to feel drawn to picking up a fantasy book, but I just don't know which one. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to be starting physically to read this week, but I'm definitely going to be reading the Hex and listening to that audiobook. So very excited about that. So yeah, we'll see where this week takes us reading wise because I know I'm reading the Hex and that's about it. So we'll see. I will definitely check in with you all once I figure out what I'm going to start next. Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday? Yes, it's Tuesday. I'm feeling particularly anxious today, but we're gonna do what I do best, and that's ignore my problems. So we're just gonna move past it, but if I seem a little off, it's because I'm feeling so anxious. Anyway, but I do have some reading updates. So yesterday I did say that I was going to start the audiobook for the Hex by Erin Sterling, and I started it this morning when I was getting ready, and I'm now 8% of the way through. I've listened to 36 minutes, but this isn't a very long audiobook. I think I said yesterday it's 7 hours, so I don't think it's going to take me that long to listen to. I'm not very far. I'm about to read chapter 3. That's going to be the next chapter I listen to, but so far it's really fun already. I've already like laughed a few times, so I'm having a good time. I'm excited to get a little bit farther in and actually see the romance start happening because if I'm already enjoying it, I feel like that's a pretty good sign. So excited to keep on going with that. I also decided on what I wanted to read for a physical read, at least at the start of this week, because I wasn't really sure what I was feeling. I was feeling, I think, a fantasy, but I was like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for starting like a new world or a new series, because my first thought when I said fantasy or like was thinking of starting a fantasy was Babel by R.F. Kuang, and I'm like, I don't think my brain could handle that book right now, so I decided on picking up something that is a part of a series I've already read, so I'm familiar kind of with the world and some of the characters, and it's a book I started many months ago, and I finally am going to pick it back up. and that's Fire by Kristin Cashore. So last night I really didn't read that much. I reread the prologue, which is what I had read earlier in the year. I think it was like May or something when I started this, but I had only read the prologue, so I reread it last night just to kind of refresh my memory. Not that I really forgot anything, but I figured I might as well just start from the beginning because I had only read 16 pages. And then I started chapter 1, but I only got a few pages in. I was just not in a good reading mindset last night. I think I was just very distracted. There were a few things going on, so I was just not in the biggest reading mood. But I'm hoping tonight I can read some more and actually finish maybe a chapter. But yeah, this is the second book in the Graceling series, which I read Graceling earlier this year, really enjoyed it, and I really want to work on finishing this series, hopefully by the end of the year, but also I'm not going to push it. I think if I just finish this book before the end of the year, because I started it so long ago, that I will be happy. But yeah, this is going to be my physical read for now. Very excited to finally read it. I feel like a lot of people really love this book in this series. This is a lot of people's favorite. So I'm excited to read this and see what everyone loves about it. But yeah, both of the books I'm currently reading, I'm still very early on, so I don't really have many thoughts on either of them. I just wanted to document that I've started them and I know what I'm going to be reading over the next few days. I'm hoping to get a lot of audiobook listening time in today or over the next couple of days, because I do have some crafts and things that I have to do for my sister's bridal shower, which is this Sunday, and which is why I can say that now. I mean, she knows the bridal shower is happening, but I didn't want to say too much about what I had to do in case she was watching in last week's vlog, but by the time this vlog goes up, the bridal shower will have happened. But I need to spray paint a picture frame and put pictures in the picture frame. So I need to do that, and I should probably spray paint the frame today so I can just not be stressed about it, because I'm stressed that I still need to do those things for Sunday, even though I have plenty of time. I'm just stressed. I'm an anxious person. What's new? But while I do a lot of the crafts and things that I have to do for that, I'm hoping to listen to my audiobook. So hopefully the XX I'll be able to finish over the next couple of days. I'm very excited to keep going with that. It seems really cute so far. So I'm excited to listen to that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I really wanted to say, just that I've started the XX and Fire by Kristin Cashore. I'm actually going to read it this time. And yeah, I'm hoping that I can kind of calm down and maybe do some reading and do some crafts and just relax throughout the rest of the day, because I don't enjoy this feeling of being this anxious. So I'm gonna try to distract myself, and yeah, okay, that's it. I just wanted to pop in, give that a little update. All right, see you later.
Watch it again. Hello.
I've been filming you for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
How dare you? Why are you exploiting me?
Oh, please.
Anyways.
Oh, there's a variety of things going on right now. I'm trying to read.
And then David comes in.
Oh,
I love David. I'm not ashamed.
It's been 2 hours.
Stream it.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Why would you do that? Stomach work. Again.
Oh my god. Alright, hello. It is now Thursday, and I wanted to pop in. I don't think I filmed anything yesterday, but I have done a little bit more reading in the past couple of days. So for the XX, which is my current audiobook, I am about halfway through. I'm 48% of the way through that. And so far I'm liking it. I'm having a good time. I don't know if I've given a description of this book. So you're following this girl who gets broken up with her boyfriend when she's 19, and she gets drunk with her cousin, and they end up putting this curse on him because they're trying to get back at him. And then 9 years later, he comes back to the town because it's the Founders Day weekend, and his his family are the founders of this town and of like the magic system there. Him going back and trying to like, I think he has to do something with the ley lines to kind of help the magic. I don't know. I don't fully understand the magic system. I don't really think that's the important part of this book, but he has to go back and like do something to the ley lines because he's part of the founding family, and I think it's supposed to like help the magic in this town. I don't really know, but he does that. But because of this curse that this girl put on him, it causes some problems. It turns out the curse really worked. It really was there. And now because of him trying to use magic on the ley lines, that curse has kind of caused that curse to spread across the whole town. So yeah, they have to kind of come together to help fix the town and fix this curse. So the whole thing with like the romance for this book is it's very much like a second chance romance kind of vibe. They were together, they broke up, and now 9 years later, they're like having to work together to solve this curse. So there's kind of some tension, and it's definitely like second chance romance vibes. And the second chance romance trope, I don't know how I feel about it because I haven't really read that many books with it, I feel like. And I think I could like it depending on how it was done. But I feel like with this book, because we didn't see their relationship when they were younger, this book starts with a flashback of her being upset after they've broken up and them doing this curse, and then it jumps to 9 years later. We don't see any of their relationship from before, and I wish we had just seen a little bit more of that, see them, you know, get interested in each other, start to date, have those moments together, and then have the breakup happen, then skip 9 years ahead. I don't know, I just feel like we didn't see the relationship from before, so like the tension there, like yeah, I can understand why there's tension, but I just feel like I would have liked to see more of the romance from the first time, and then it makes this second chance romance kind of a little bit more dramatic and makes me more invested in it. So yeah, I'm having a good time. I still like it. I like the mix of like the witchy magical stuff with the romance, but it's definitely not anything that I'm obsessed with. I also remembered that Erin Sterling and Rachel Hawkins are the same author, and I feel pretty similarly about this book that I did about her YA books, the Prince Charming and Her Royal Highness books that I read like a few months ago. I think I read those in like the springtime, and I feel pretty similarly about the XX that I did those ones, where like the characters are fun and I do like the premise, but it's just not anything that I'm obsessed with. I do think I like this one a little bit more than those though, just because like this is an adult book and I am 24 years old. I'm not in the YA age demographic anymore, so this one just appeals to me a little bit more with just like the tone and the language and everything. But yeah, I'm still like, I'm enjoying it and it's fun. And that's really it. It's not doing anything that I'm obsessed with, but like I said, I am like halfway through this audiobook, so I'm hoping that maybe I can finish it today. I think I only have like 3.5 hours left of it, and I do have to do some things for my sister's bridal shower. I have to clean my bedroom really desperately. I need to do it before I decorate, which hopefully I can decorate for fall by the end of this vlog. If not, I will definitely do it in next week's vlog, but I definitely have some things I need to do, so I hope I can listen to that and maybe finish it today. So yeah, those are my thoughts and feels on the XX so far. But for Fire, which is my physical read by Kristin, I'm on page 96, which is the start of chapter 7, and I will say, me not reading a ton of fantasy this year has made this book like a little challenging. Not really, it's just because I really haven't read that much fantasy recently, so just like jumping into a fantasy world, I was just like, these are a lot of characters, this is a lot of things going on, I don't know what's happening. So I think it's a mix of me not having read a fantasy in a bit, but also this book is the second book in the Graceling series, but it's set I think like 30 or something years before the events of Graceling. So I keep reading all of these character names and being like, is this someone that shows up in Graceling? They're just younger in this book. I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to recognize most of these people. There is someone in the prologue that we're following that I definitely recognize and you're supposed to recognize. But like all of the other characters that are interacting with Fire, the main character, I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to know who you are. I don't think so. And I think I've spent like the first like 50 or so pages of this book trying to figure out who all these people are, what are all these names, if I should recognize them or not. And I think that that has kind of added to the challenge for me. And that's my own fault. I was just trying to make it more difficult for myself. So I've just accepted that like if these people are people I'm supposed to recognize, hopefully it will become apparent throughout the rest of the book. I don't think I'm supposed to know most of them, so I'm just going to keep on reading and see how it goes. And I feel like once I accepted that I just need to power through, keep reading, and things will start to make more sense. And I don't know if I'm going to recognize people from Graceling, but we just need to accept that maybe I'm not supposed to. Once I kind of just moved forward, kept reading, things started making a lot more sense. So from what I've learned about this book so far is that Fire is the last remaining human monster, which there are just straight up monsters that are kind of all these variety of colors, and that I think is why Fire has the bright red hair that she does. Which, by the way, the fan art for Fire and for this book is absolutely stunning, so recommend looking that up. But yeah, she's the last remaining human monster, which not quite sure of the logistics of that. Anyway, because of that, she has this ability to control minds, which is obviously a very scary power for someone to have, and that causes a lot of distrust with her, but also she's like this very beautiful person, so it's like a mix of people admiring her but also being scared of her and not trusting her, and that does cause some problems with the kind of king and the prince in this particular kingdom in the Dells, which is where Fire lives and where this kingdom is. And there are people that are trying to kind of rebel against the king, so I think Fire is going to get like roped into helping them. I honestly am not quite sure because I haven't made it far enough in to like really know what the plot is going to be, but I'm excited to keep going. I've heard the romance in this particular book in the series is really great, so I'm excited to keep going. I think this is a lot of people's favorite book in the series, which I think I've already said, so that makes me excited to keep going. So yeah, I'm having a good time now, especially because I've stopped trying to connect this to Graceland, because I think this book does kind of stand on its own because it does take place 30 years before Graceling, and also it takes place in a very different area of this world, so it's very like disconnected from where the characters from Graceling are. So yeah, I think I just need to kind of separate this from that, even if it's in the same series, and I think I'll be doing much better. I am already doing better now that I've stopped trying to connect everything. So yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm excited to keep going and see what like the actual plot is gonna be, and I'm also excited for the romance to kind of start. We've got introduced to who I think is gonna be the love interest, and it's gonna be kind of a enemies to lovers kind of situation because he really does not trust her because of her powers, so I'm excited to read about it. So yeah, those are all of the reading updates that I have. Like I said, I do want to clean so that I can decorate for fall, and I also need to do laundry, and I need to do things for my sister's bridal shower. So I think I'm going to spend the rest of the day kind of doing that, and hopefully I can listen to the XX and finish it while I do all those things. Alright, hello, happy Friday, aka Hocus Pocus 2 day. I have on my Hocus Pocus shirt. I'm very excited to watch it later. I probably will watch it tonight, I think. I'm going to decorate for fall today. I'm going to put out my fall and Halloween decorations today, and I think I'm going to put Hocus Pocus on while I do that, and then later on tonight I'm gonna, I think, watch Hocus Pocus 2, and I'm very excited. But I did want to update because I did finish the XX yesterday, and I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I definitely think I liked this more than this author's YA books. I think just because it is for an adult audience, it is a little bit more mature. I think that's why I enjoyed it more. But I still feel like very similarly about this book that I do her YA books, where they're just fun, silly, cute books. The characters are fun, the romance is fun, but it doesn't really do anything that I'm obsessed with, so I enjoyed it, I had a good time, and I am going to definitely read the sequel, but it wasn't anything that I was like obsessed with. But I liked it, and I definitely would recommend as like a spooky Halloween romance read if you're looking for that. I'm also halfway through Fire, which is over there. I don't feel like grabbing it, but I'm really enjoying it now that I've gotten a little bit farther in. The plot has kind of started, and I really, really love the love interest and the relationship that's starting to develop. This is definitely a lot more like of a slower build up to the relationship than the first book in this series, Graceling, so I'm really liking that. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm excited to read more of that later today, but I think I'm gonna get started on decorating for fall. And I'm gonna put Hocus Pocus on while I do it because, of course.
I found somebody, I say you don't cross my mind. And she doesn't know that your favorite place is still mine. Now I take the long way home, avoid what I can't let go. I don't always think about you, but sometimes I do, 'cause sometimes I drive through all of the streets we used to on First Avenue, 'Cause sometimes I don't even know where I'm going at first. All of the turns that I had to unlearn. Back to the surface, the feeling of all that we were. I don't always think about you till First Avenue. That's when I do. That's when I do. I guess the truth is I can't leave memories behind. When she asks about you, I hesitate every time. Every time. I don't always think about you, but sometimes I do. 'Cause sometimes I drive through all of the streets we used to on First Avenue. 'Cause sometimes I don't even know where I'm going at first.
Okay, friends, I'm going to quickly wrap up this vlog. I'm sorry if this vlog was a little bit shorter, not as chatty, not as much reading or really anything happening this past week. I feel like I was just kind of in frantic mode trying to prepare for my sister's bridal shower, and then this weekend I was doing that and preparing for it and everything, and I definitely didn't do as much reading as I wanted to this week. I did watch Hocus Pocus 2 though, which is arguably more important than anything else, and I liked it. Like, is it the best story? Is the plot great? No. Like, it's not great, but it definitely had some good, I feel like, parallels and references to the first one, and there definitely were some like fun and funny moments, so it was enjoyable to watch. I feel like I'll probably watch it again before Halloween happens this year, but it's definitely not going to be one that I think rewatch as much as the first one. Like, I've already watched Hocus Pocus 3 times since Friday. I've watched it every day since Friday. Will today be the 4th day? Probably. I don't think I'm gonna have that level of love for the sequel, but I did enjoy it. I think it's fun. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people aren't really loving it, and I totally get why, because the actual story is just very, like, underwhelming. It's not great, but I don't know. It was still fun, and as much as I loved the first one, I think it kind of played into the things I do love about the first one, so I don't know. It's not the best, but it was still a fun ride, and I'm glad that I watched it, and they may be doing a third Hocus Pocus. There was, like, a post-credit scene at the end of Hocus Pocus 2, which is, like, very funny because it's very reminiscent of all the Marvel movies, but I'm like, this is my Marvel Cinematic Universe. But yeah, there was a post-credit scene where they hinted at a third Hocus Pocus, and I feel like the only way I'm gonna want that is if they get Max, Danny, and or Allison back into it, because they need to show up if they do a third one. That's all. So let me know if you've seen it, because I would love to know your thoughts on Hocus Pocus 2. But as for the reading I did this week, I did finish The XX by Erin Sterling and gave that 3.5 stars. That was just a fun, silly, goofy time. Had a good time listening to that. And the only other book that I did read this week was Fire by Kristin Cashore, and I think I have like less than 100 pages left. I'm on page 379, so I'm hoping to finish this at the beginning of next week's vlog because I want to get started on my October TBR. It is October 3rd right now. Oh, that's Mean Girls Day, right? October 3rd? But yeah, I want to get started on my October TBR for the trick-or-treat-a-thon, so I'm hoping to finish that in next week's vlog, and I really am enjoying it, so excited to keep reading that. But yeah, I mean, definitely not my most successful reading week, but I'm hoping the rest of the month is going to go better. Let me know if you're participating in the trick-or-treat-a-thon, if you've read anything for it yet, if you've finished anything. I'd love to know how it's going for you so far. It's also not too late for you to join us and read with us, so I will have my announcement for the readathon linked below. But I think that is going to be it, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!